Alright, so welcome to the, final ICAST 2025 coverage video I'm going to do. Now, once again, it was a pretty mediocre year, and it was so mediocre I just now realized that it doesn't appear that Abu Garcia even attended, or if they did, I haven't seen anything as far as new releases from them, at least on Tackle Warehouse's webpage. So if anyone knows, let me know in the comment section what happened to Abu Garcia this year at ICAST. But I saved the best coverage video for last because there were actually two very interesting baitcasters released, but they weren't from the usual suspects, Shimano or DAIWA. These two baitcasters are coming from some of the smaller, more upstart companies. And we're going to start off with the new Baits EDC 100. And of course that means we're going to go to Tackle Warehouse's webpage and let's take a look at this reel. And luckily for us, they do have a promo video, and let's check that out. Alright, so the guy right there in the blue shirt is holding the new EDC 100. And does that reel look familiar? Now what he's explaining now is that the EDC 100 is different from the other reels in Baits lineup, that it is die cast instead of machined. And yeah, check out the EDC 100. It looks real familiar, or it looks real similar to another reel that's out there. I think Baits was obviously trying to copy this particular reel style wise. But let me see how long this video is. Okay, it's only 1 minute 46 seconds. Definitely gonna fast forward through the non-interesting parts. Now a lot of people always comment that I should try a Baits reel, and I always comment back, if you want to see me reviewing so bad, send one in. Alright, well, let's go to the Tackle Warehouse page for this reel, and they only have one picture right there, and you can see it's kind of a, generic looking reel. It's got a generic shape to it, looks to be all black except for the handle and the spool tension. But what I'm not seeing here is the chrome trim piece on the handle side that we saw in the video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on the screen for you guys the press release photos for the EDC 100, and you'll see that in these photos it is indeed sporting a chrome trim piece covering the handle side plate or gearbox. And of course there's another reel out there that has the same color scheme with the chrome trim piece, and that's going to be Shimano's METANIUM DC. But anyway, this reel is interesting because it is sporting a digitally controlled brake system. They call it the DAB, or digitally assisted brake. So let's take a look at this real quick and read about this new reel from Baits. It says, engineered for extraordinary value and high performance with a range of lures, the Baits Fishing Co. EDC 100 casting reels boast advanced digital casting capability housed in a rugged die-cast aluminum frames, requiring no batteries or charging. The self-powered digitally assisted system uses a special digital chip and electromagnetic braking to deliver incredibly precise casting control in real time. Loaded with a lightweight drill spool and swept handle fitted with ergonomic knobs, the Baits EDC provides ample refinement and efficiency on every cast and crank. When hooked up, the Baits EDC's powerful drag system produces up to 15 pounds of pressure, blah blah blah. It says, from skipping docks to casting into the teeth of a gusty wind, the Baits Fishing EDC 100 with e-brake casting reels give you feature-rich performance at a modest price. And speaking of price, it is pretty modest. only $199.99. So that makes this officially the third company to offer digital brakes here in America. And currently, I believe this is the cheapest reel you can get with digital brakes. So the first, of course, is Shimano, as they pioneered this technology. And then remember KastKing. They came out with digital reels a couple of years ago, and now Bates. So KastKing and Bates actually beat DAIWA to the DC brake reel market here in America. That's hilarious. But anyway, there is a special page for this reel that I've found, and let's read about it. It says Bates Fishing Co. has officially dropped the company's most anticipated reel of the season, the EDC. And EDC doesn't stand for die cast or anything like that. It stands for Everyday Carry, a rugged, no-nonsense bait caster built to fish hard and fish often, with a retail price of $199.99. The EDC is engineered to deliver premium level performance at an approachable price, and it's poised to dominate boat decks and gear reviews in 2025. Designed from the ground up to be your go-to reel, the EDC is the first die-cast aluminum reel in Bates history, delivering a familiar strength and reliability without the premium price tag. This reel doesn't show off, it just shows up every day. But what truly separates the EDC from everything else in its class is what's inside. Introducing the DAB system in digitally assisted braking, a brand new self-powered cast control system exclusive to Bates. This next generation tech uses electromagnetic induction and an internal digital chip to automatically adjust braking force in real time, all without batteries or maintenance. No charging, no switches, no gimmicks, just cast and go confidence. The DAB system is our answer to the modern angler's desire for smarter performance without added complexity. You don't necessarily need to know how it works, just know that it works. Okay, so let's see here. So of course, die-cast aluminum frame, built to last without breaking the bank, 15 pounds of drag, compact, lightweight, 6.2 ounces. That is pretty light. That's METANIUM DC light, available in right to left, and only 1 gear ratio. But once again, if you take a look at the pictures on Bates' website, you'll see that not only is there a chrome trim piece on the gearbox, but it looks like the thumb bar is also chromed. Let's go back to Tackle Warehouse. Now on Tackle Warehouse, the thumb bar looks black, but yeah, you'll notice that with this EDC, there's this strange design feature where they have that machining cut out near the front of the frame. Kind of makes it look like a DAIWA T-wing, you know, with a big gaping opening in the front. But what I do see as well in this picture is that it looks to have a conical line guide, and this is probably going to be the same DC brakes that you'll find in the LEWS reels, at least the lower end DC brakes that don't have the app connectivity through Bluetooth. But I find that to be gimmicky anyway. But yeah, only $200 for a all aluminum DC reel. At least I think it's all aluminum. Not sure if the side plates, maybe the side plates are graphite, but this is replacing Shimano's SLX DC as the cheapest DC reel available here in America. So let me know in the comment section if you plan on trying one of these Bates EDC reels. Alright, so the final reel we're going to cover is going to be from KastKing. And strangely enough, this reel is not listed at Tackle Warehouse, even on KastKing's section of bait casting reels. So I wonder if they're not going to offer it there. But this reel is called the MGTI Elite, and we're going to check out a quick promo video on it on YouTube. So this reel boasts a true titanium spool and a braking system called the Halo Vortex system. Magnesium frame with carbon side plates, and check out that drag star. That is a drag star I've been waiting for KastKing to bring over here to America in one of the reels, but it's been out in China for a couple of years now. And they're touting something called 2 EZO bearings. Alright, so that brings us to KastKing's webpage, of course. And, ooh, right here, Born Titanium. New release MGTI Elite Bait Casting Reel, only $269.99. So this reel is a reel that I actually may try out. Let's check it out. So it says here, the world's first true titanium spool. Let's see if I can blow it up. It says it's 350% harder than aluminum, 250% stronger than aluminum, and 50% lighter than aluminum. So because of its strength over aluminum, apparently you can machine a titanium spool to be extremely thin and it'll still be very strong. And you can see by the picture, this spool looks pretty deep. Okay, it says 2 + 9 + 1 bearings, so a total of 12, including what they call EZO high precision bearings. EZO bearings are crafted to meet the rigorous standards of the Japanese Industrial Standards, or JIS. Alright, so that doesn't really tell us too much about them. Maybe they poached some bearings from SHIMANO. SHIMANO definitely has the best stock bearings of any manufacturer by far. And let's see what else. Alright, this is another thing I'm interested in, the Halo Vortex Braking System. Virtually eliminates backlash for better cast stability and further casting distance. So if you saw in the video, this looks to be a dynamic system where I guess the magnetic current forces this plate here to rotate and twist out towards the spool. So it's kind of a new take on the dynamic brake system. And honestly, I'm surprised that KastKing is the first to actually think of this, as I've hinted at a similar brake system like this to any company that uses the MagTrack style system. You just have to spring load that magnet bank and voila, you have a dynamic brake system. But I guess they were too lazy to implement that over at Abu Garcia or LEWS or whatever. But check this out. It's kind of funny. Now they're claiming, if you look down here, the casting distance, they're saying centrifugal brakes cast the shortest, and then magnetic, and then Halo Vortex. So that's ridiculous. The centrifugal brake system will beat both magnetic and dynamic magnetic, such as Halo Vortex. At least a SHIMANO centrifugal system will, as I've proven over and over again in my many cast battles. But we have a drag clicker, 18 pounds of drag. Here's some pictures of it. If you want to order early, you get some free pliers, look pretty nice. But it looks like the reel is based off the same platform as the Kestrel, as well as that other magnesium bait caster. And in fact, I'm going to see what they have here at Tackle Warehouse. Yeah, the MG12. $249.99. I could have swore that was $300 when it came out. But in my opinion, that's a good thing, because that's a very comfortable, lightweight platform. And you can see they've really gave some thought and design to the external brake adjustment, as this reel sports a huge externally adjustable dial that is very sporty. And I'm going to try to blow picture up if it'll let me. But anyway, right over here, you can see it's this big aluminum dial that is cut into a crisscross X, and it looks good. So I may try out one of these reels in the future, but let's read some more, see if we can get some more information. Check out that thumb bar right here. That's a good looking picture. Looks to be chromed with some rubber insert for grip. Get a good look at the trim pieces around the drag star and the spool tension. And right here, you see that the spool is only 6.9 grams, with the titanium spool shaft and ball bearings. So they're claiming that this spool will cast down easily to 1/16 of an ounce, and they're claiming other reels with aluminum spools would be somewhere in the 15 gram range because they can't be machined quite as thin as titanium. So very interesting that KastKing is leading the charge on these titanium spools. You figured it would be like Shimano or DAIWA or whatnot, but all right, some more info on the Halo Vortex braking system. All right, here's another braking comparison. Centrifugal last, magnetic, and then Halo Vortex. They have it reversed. Centrifugal would dominate the other two. Yep, there's that drag star that we first saw on the KastKing Varus reels that were briefly available on AliExpress like a couple of years ago. But it should make it a lot easier to twitch your bait with just one hand. They're claiming it's only going to be 5 ounces. Side wing cover. So I'm not sure why you would need to open up the side plate unless you can take the spool out, but looks like it's going to be attached. But yeah, this is a badass looking reel. I wonder if it's going to be a 34mm spool or 32. Look, they already have some frequently asked questions. Is the KastKing MGTI suitable for tournament use? Of course they say yes. Is the MGTI suitable for beginners? It says, while the MGTI is built with tournament level performance, its smooth braking system and lightweight design make it approachable even for experienced beginners looking to upgrade. So of course they're going to say, yeah, it's good for beginners. Look at this. This is a fantastic reel for well-endowed individuals. The reel isn't even out and someone's already left a 5-star review, and a very suspect one at that. But yeah, let me know if you are interested in this KastKing MGTI. I mean, for $270 for the technology, it's packing the titanium spool, that new style of dynamic brake system, that slick drag star. I mean, typical KastKing, they give you a whole lot for the money. So there we go, guys. The two most interesting ICAST releases as far as bait cashers go come from Baits and KastKing. All right, guys, thanks a lot.